figured since I've had this for a while, I've had it for about 6 or 7 months, I would do a complete video over what I had done so far, since I've done quite a few things to it, and obviously they're in videos sporadically throughout my channel. I wanted to kind of do a walkthrough. I'm fixing to do the 40,000 mile review on my F32, so that's kind of what prompted this and gave me the idea to do this. Interior wise, we'll start there, I guess. I have replaced the stock steering wheel, which I'm keeping everything that I have that is stock just in case one day I either sell it, or you know, with everything that I've done, or everything that I will do, I guess, that I want to maybe put it back to stock. I don't like the idea of selling stock items. The only thing that I would probably sell would be the wheels and tires whenever I get new ones, just because it doesn't seem that they're hard to come by. I look multiple times a week, if not multiple times a day, for 4-lug wheels, and it seems that I come across these all the time. Really, the only imperfection or flaw is there's a little bend right here in the wheel, but they hold air perfectly. I haven't had any problems with that. The tires are fairly new, but obviously I bought those when I bought the car, and I've probably put less than 100 miles on this car, if that. I think the longest that I've driven this, or the most that I've driven it, was when we drove it back from Enid, which is about an hour and a half from where I live. I drive it probably once or twice a week. If that would be probably the max that I drive it, and I just kind of drive it around town, errands, grocery picker upper, that kind of thing. Back to the interior, like I said, I switched the stock steering wheel to a Volant wood grain, walnut wood grain wheel. It has the Momo hub adapter, and then the wheel, as you see. I was pretty particular with what color and style I wanted, but I really wasn't that particular with the brand. And if you go back and watch my video about the installation of this wheel, you'll kind of hear me talk a little more about that. I upgraded the shift boot. I actually DIY'd that. I made that out of some fabric I got. It was like a $5 or $6 or $7 mod, if you would call it that. Again, kind of using the word mod loosely, this was my most recent pickup, which was a cup holder that I got off of Wish for $6. You can get them at Walmart and other probably auto parts stores, but I think they cost like 11 or 12 bucks. Not a big deal, but it was just something I was looking at one day online, and I thought, why not? And then the last interior upgrade I did was I took the nasty gray carpet that was on the lid, the rear deck lid, and I used the same fabric that I did for that. Good thing about doing that yourself is I can switch it out easily if I ever do decide to change that, or most importantly, decide to change the exterior color to something that doesn't really go with that. So that would cover the interior. Exterior, plasti dipped the plastic that was on the bumpers on the back. It's dirty right now, as well as the front, which really livened up the black. Back to black. You could do that, which I have done on these as well as these, and it did a lot of good, but you have to do that quite often if you drive it in the rain or anything, which I typically don't. Then I removed the front grills as well as the kidney grills, and I spray painted those black and put a gloss finish on them just to kind of protect them a little bit better. Really like the way those turned out, and that was super simple. A lot easier than removing grills on my F32. I removed the stock muffler that I had on this thing. It had a ton of holes in it. It was super loud. It was a little quieter than what it is now. I like the volume it's at now. I like the sound. I like the tone. But I removed that and then had pipe put all the way back, and then a tip. So it's not really straight pipe since I still have the resonator on there. If I wanted to do that in the future, or put some kind of muffler setup, or maybe an M3 exhaust on here, I would be able to do that pretty easy. But I just took it to a shop, had them weld it on, because obviously I don't know how to weld. A clean sticker, not really a mod, but the only sticker I plan as of now of putting on the car. My JKU, my Jeep that I had, the whole front quarter panel was covered in stickers, and I am sticker obsessed, but I'm very particular with this one, obviously because I don't want to run it with stickers, but I love that. It's actually by a company called Clean Hands Army in Tulsa, and they take well-known logos and put their spin on them, and that was one of those, so I love that. So now to things that you can't see, and I apologize if you can hear the wind. It's kind of windy here right now, and there's really nothing I can do about it. So Now to things that you can't see. My most recent video, or one of my most recent, was the external fuel pump, which is located on the rear driver's side right by the tire. I recently changed that out because it was an evident problem. It was leaking gasoline, which is a huge deal. And then I also changed the filter. That was actually one of the first things I did. Before both of those, or actually before the external fuel pump, I changed the internal fuel pump, which is located in the fuel tank and accessible through the back seat. That was definitely, all three were actually learning experiences, because everything that I've done to this car, just about, I've never done before. So obviously if I can do them, I feel like anybody could do them. I just watched a few videos and read a few forums about the things and switched them out easily. So high pressure fuel pump. I did not change the sending unit that's located with the internal fuel pump. Changed the internal fuel pump and then the filter, like I said a second ago. Those are the three things, major things that I did to this car. So far, nothing else has been done that you can't see or that I can think of, but jumping kind of right into future plans for this car. When I got it, I was really unsure of what I wanted to do in terms of restoring it completely back to factory or making it look like it was completely factory, or if I wanted to mod it. And I've decided, after tons and tons of research and looking around and seeing what it was that I liked, I've decided that I am going to take the modded route. And my plans for the future, I want to get some coilovers for this and drop it several inches, as well as bigger wheels and tires. I know that the bigger wheels are going to end up helping with the wheel gap, and so my route that I want to take is tires and wheels first, and then coilovers to kind of determine how much of a drop I want from that point. I thought about doing an air ride on it, but just the amount that you spend, I can't imagine and cannot get myself to spend more on that than I did the actual car. So if it's static, I really don't care, and I'd probably like it a lot better than the air ride because I drive this thing very infrequently. One thought that I had was I was going to turn all the chrome to black, or at least wrap it. And I'm not going to end up doing that because the more I look at it, I feel like chrome just works for this car. Do I like chrome? Not necessarily, but I like it on my car. Paint change or color change will eventually happen. I don't know if I'll stick with red, but there are some different colors of the red on the car currently where it's either been painted again or a part's been replaced or something. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm either going to wrap it, dip it, or paint it. I will probably change this spoiler that came on the car for an M3 kind of look spoiler. Eventually I would like to get different bumpers to where they're not the diving board bumpers, but those aren't a huge eyesore to me. Evidently they are to a lot of people, not mine particularly, but do that. Get a valance, obviously, that's one thing that'll help with the look of it being lower. I'll probably eventually remove the mud flaps. That's really about it. That's the major plans that I have for this thing. Every time I'm looking at cars online, I always get more ideas because there are so many cool cars out there and so many cool things that people have done that give me ideas of what I want to do to my car. So that's about it. Just kind of a little recap. 1987 E30. Is it a 325E or a 325ES? Honestly, I have no idea. I really don't care. No one has ever asked me if it was an E or an ES. I just say E30 and they're like, oh yeah. The badge says 325. I'm not sure if something's been removed right here. A lot of people say that with the spoiler and some other external accessories that it said ES. Then I look online, I put in the VIN, it says E or ES. It's a big mess determining which one it is, but honestly, I really don't care. Yeah, that's about it. 1987 E30. Odometer stopped working at 150 plus miles. Miles really aren't important to me on this thing because obviously crap needs to be redone anyhow. So more to come for the E30. I just kind of wanted to give everybody an update on what had been done. If you hadn't watched the previous videos, if you had, I appreciate it. And I will see you next time.